Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Adventures of Adam. I'm Adam. Let's adventure. Unfortunately, there is an unfortunate bug with the Godforge quest minigame right now where if you take certain actions, you will gain a whole bunch of Aether, and as a result, the minigame finished early for me on both of the accounts that I had. So I wanted to keep playing because I don't have anything else to do, so I made a new account and we're going again. Starting fresh. I haven't even done my polls yet, but this is a brand new account starting at 0. And we're just gonna babysit these short quests. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my polls while we're at it here. I did manage to get Sun Wukong imprint locked in on my first free-to-play account. Let's see. She looks cool. I don't know what she does, but she looks cool. We're gonna lock her in for now. Let's do this other temple. She looked really cool too. Let's lock in Guan Yu so we can get start the game with a +1 Guan Yu. How about that? That's my strategy. I'm probably not going to play this account when it launches, unless by some miracle I get a better hero pull on this account than I got the first time around. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Whichever one of these two free-to-play accounts has the best starting legendary is the one I'll probably play with. I was gonna create a second one and just have like multitask 2 at the same time, but Google wouldn't let me create any more Gmail accounts. I know there's a way that you can make a ton of like burner email accounts, but I don't know how to do that. I do know someone who does, so I'll probably reach out to them. I just want to make like 1 or 2 more accounts, just so I have something to do, something to fidget with. But yeah, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I know that I did. You might notice my beard looks a little bit straighter today. My wife got me a heated beard straightening brush. So rather than being like bushy and curly, it's pretty well kempt right now. It's not like perfectly straight. I didn't want to over straighten it and like fry my hairs. But I'm happy with it. I think it looks nice. It's got that like angular shape, like Kratos from God of War. I think that's a good aesthetic. Yeah, I'm very happy with the way my beard's looking today. I also think by straightening it, it added like an extra ½ inch to length. So that's cool. But yeah. Hey, what's going on? J.E. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. You know what? I think I'm gonna grab a beer. Because why not, right? I'll be right back. All right. Oops. Naturally, we've got the Fateless Chalice. If you wanted to get a Fateless Chalice of your own, you can go to store.fateless.gg and use discount code Adam10 for 10% off your order. Or you can go to store.fateless.gg/discount/Adam10. That works as well. You see it right here on the screen, at the bottom of your screen there. This is a Boulevard wheat. It brewed right here in Kansas City. This is I don't drink often, but I did buy a 12-pack of this for Christmas. I took 6 of them to my in-laws' house, expecting my father-in-law and my brother-in-law to partake, but my brother-in-law brought his own beer, and my father-in-law was told by his doctor he needs to, his blood work didn't come back so great, so he decided not to drink on Christmas. So I've got way more beer in my fridge than I expected I would have. So it's got to go somewhere. I'm not throwing it away, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm not really a big drinker. I don't drink often, but I did want to treat myself for Christmas. So, you got the good stuff. Oh yeah. It's a thing of beauty. If I'm being honest, I don't have all the hero kits memorized. I was gonna wait until they release the final. Everything's always subject to change. The final full kits of everybody, and then I was gonna try to review them and stuff. But I do, as fate would have it. Actually, once this refreshes, we'll look at it. I have someone from the Fateless Discord has been spamming this all over the place. He made a spreadsheet with everything so we could take a look. So Rajan and Fujin. I thought they were alphabetical, but apparently not. Oh, he doesn't have all of them. Okay, never mind. Rajan or Rajan and Fujin. Yeah, let me. Yeah, if you don't have the lock, you have to wait till you have enough Aether to actually select it. Unfortunately, Camazotz, is that an epic or a legendary? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's probably why. I think if you're not sure, a safe bet is always to go with a support unit, so like an invoker who does a lot of healing and revives, or someone who puts up shields. Just because not dying is really good. If you could just not die, you can just keep pushing forever and you'll kill it eventually. So yeah, all 3 starter heroes are damage dealers. They're all really good damage dealers, like super viable late game damage dealers. So because we're starting with solid damage dealers in all of the starter heroes, I think a good strategy would be to take a support carry. So if you have an option to grab a defender, in my opinion, good support carries go way further in these types of games than damage dealers do. Now, if you do take a damage dealer, you're going to mow down the early stages of the campaign, but then you're going to get to a point in dungeons where the boss is just one-shotting you because your whole team is too squishy. And that's when having a support or like a defender who puts up shields and stuff will go a long way towards keeping you alive. Lamashtu. Lamashtu. That sounds really familiar. Man, I'm so bad with names. Lamashtu. Let me check something real quick. Let's try to see. I saw Raven Pyros on the Discord today, and he's got this really cool website. Let's see if he's been keeping it up to date. It's right, heroes to heroes. So these were the ones that were in the alpha. I saw someone in Discord say if you scroll down past all the alpha stuff. Ah, look at that. He has been keeping it up to date. So we're looking for Raijin, Fujin, and Lamashtu. See if we can see what we see. This is ravenpyros.com. Oh, here's Rajan, someone was asking about. We don't know his base stats yet. He doesn't have his skills posted yet. It looks like he's got it ready to input, but not yet. So who else? Lamashtu and Ujin. Are these all legendaries that we're asking about? I'm trying to go slow so I don't like skip over it. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like he's got them on here. Oh. Why does that sound familiar? I feel like I could like almost picture it in my head. Let's check out. Okay. Community resources tab. Actually, you know what? Ragewood just did a video. Where he did a tier list. I haven't watched all of it yet. Let's see if he's got. He's got all the stuff in here, and he's doing a tier list and ranking them. So if you want to, like, Ragewood's a really smart guy. He's a good player. Oops. I want to make sure I didn't. Okay. So I will copy this and paste it in chat. You can check out Ragewood's tier list. Yeah, I mean he's a really smart guy, good player. What's up, Joey B? Good morning. Second and bottom right. Did I miss it? Did I overlook it? I don't know. The only hero whose kit I've really memorized so far is Sizzin, because that's who I pulled on my main account. So, but yeah, I definitely want to. What's up? I'm gonna wait until we see everything before I review and give my opinions, because a lot of the stuff right now is still kind of up in the air. So sometime in January, before the event ends, the team has said that their goal is to get full kits posted to Godforge.gg. It's just going to be like a index or encyclopedia, just very objective, no opinions, no rankings, no tier lists, just this is a hero, this is what they do. And then once that information is out, I imagine pretty much every content creator in the Godforge community is going to put up a tier list. I'm not going to put up a tier list per se. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wish list. And the reason why is because I'm not particularly fond of tier lists. I think they're incredibly subjective, and one of the downsides of a tier list is without the proper context, a person could look at a tier list and it gives an uninformed player the illusion that they are now an informed player. They could be looking at a tier list that was formed with a lot of context and what's the word I'm looking for? Finesse. And they could take the information they gleaned from this tier list, now assuming they know everything because they watched a video from someone who is actually knowledgeable and does understand the context, and then take that information and then use it to give people advice without the finesse and without the context it deserves and needs to actually be good advice. And in the process of doing so, could actually give harmful advice because they're not giving the context in which the tier list was formed. So I'm not a fan of tier lists, but I think it would be fun to make a wish list talking about the heroes that I saw that I really liked and that I'm looking forward to collecting in the game. So it still gives you guys an idea of the ones that I think look really exciting. And the ones I'm looking forward to, but not necessarily like ranking them like S tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, etc. So I wish I could have had my wish list out before Christmas, but it is what it is. Joy B is very wise. Oops. good news, I'm getting a new microphone stand. So hopefully I'll stop slapping my microphone every time I do a live stream. This microphone stand that I'm using is very short. From the base to the where my microphone connects to it, it's about 4 inches. This one right here is too tall. It's about 12 inches tall. So when I use this one, it's so tall that when I connect my microphone on top of it, it sits about like this. And when it's sitting like this, there's nowhere on my desk that I can place it where it's not blocking some part of one monitor or another. I've got 3 monitors, so I don't have anywhere I can place, because once the microphone sits on top of it, it's about this tall. So I bought another microphone on Amazon. We just ordered it. It's supposed to come in Sunday, as long as, you know, everything goes according to plan. But it's right in the middle of these two. So this one's 4 inches, this one is 8 inches. The one that I bought can adjust from 5 to 8 inches, or 8.5 inches, and 8 inches. Like I bust out my tape measure last night before I put it in the cart. I need 8 inches. So this one's about 4 inches too tall. This one's about 4 inches too short. So pretty soon, I'll have a microphone that sits right about here, and you guys will be able to hear me much more clearly, much more distinctly. I'll be able to turn down the sensitivity quite a bit, so you're not going to get as much background noise, and it should vastly improve the audio quality of my stream. And I can talk a little softer, so I don't have to. Right now, it's down here, so I kind of have to like project a little bit. But once the microphone's right here, I don't have to speak as loud, and you guys, I could talk a little softer, and it'll have more of like a ASMR type vibe. So, because what made me do this is somebody was asking a question, and in order to answer it, I had to go back and look at one of my old videos. And in my old videos, I was using this microphone stand, and when the microphone was right there next to. I shouldn't do this, should I? The microphone was right here, right next to my mouth, and it just sounded so crisp and juicy. I was like, ooh, that sounds good. But I don't like having the top of the microphone right here, because then it blocks. There's nowhere I can put it where it's not blocking my monitors. So I got one that's a little bit shorter than this, a little bit taller than this. So hopefully we'll have some really good sound quality moving forward in the near future. So I'm excited. I treated myself. And now this other microphone stand, that's a little bit too tall. I use it as a headphone stand. Let's see if I can show you. So I'm still using it. I just set my headphones on it right here. Yeah, should be a nice little quality of life. Yeah, anyway, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Joy B, I haven't talked to you much since Christmas. I hope yours as well. I saw you spending time with some family on Discord. Or, I saw in Discord you were spending time with your family, not you were spending time with your family in Discord. That's how I should have phrased it. I saw on Discord you had family over. How'd that go? My music is... Oh. Thank you, Joy B. Once I get my new mic stand, it shouldn't be as big of an issue. Hopefully that's a little better. If I need to adjust it more, just let me know. I also notice when I wear my headphones, I naturally just speak louder anyway, so I might not be talking as loud tonight because I'm not wearing my headphones. So OBS, the software that most streamers use to do live streams and record videos and stuff, it has a built-in background noise filtering system. But what it doesn't do is it does not filter out human voices. So if I'm watching a video or reacting to a video where someone is speaking, like if I'm doing like a Fateless video react, we'll get the microphone filter does not filter out the voice of the person in the video, and you'll get like feedback echo. So when I'm doing a react, I have to wear my headphones so my speaker doesn't feed back into my microphone. I prefer not to wear my headphones because I'd rather just not wear them. It's more comfortable to not wear them. Because when I'm at work, I have to wear, hearing protection is required at my job, so I'm always wearing earmuffs at work. So if I could avoid wearing them when I'm at home, I try to. So who's everybody picking for their starter hero? For me, Guan Yu's kind of like my ride or die. He was my pick for Alpha 1. And then for Alpha 2, I took Ramses, but got, because I just wanted to try someone else. So I picked Ramses as my starter, but I got Guan Yu on like the 5th floor or something. I got him super early. Like he was one of the first heroes I got to drop. So I started using Ramses and Guan Yu in tandem. And I was like, I just love Guan Yu. So I just switched to Guan Yu and made him my main, and he was my first 6-star on that account, and then he was my pick for wave 3 also. I've just his, like, look at that beard and his mustache. Can I zoom in on this? No, it won't let me. Let's see what we got in here. Ooh, this is the first time I've seen this one on all my accounts. Buffs placed on this hero are instantly removed, granting 5 at base level divinity and turn meter, and grant a permanent damage increase of 5%. I'm wondering if this 5% scales up to 11. Like if this could be interpreted 2 ways. It could be that every time a buff is removed, you gain an additional 5% damage, which would imply it has infinite scaling, which is insane. But it could be that because, like, look, right here we see 5, 6. Like every time you rank it up to 6 stars, so it could cap out at a maximum of 11% damage. But you're still also getting 11% turn meter, 11% divinity every time you remove that buff. Like, that's really cool. I can't lock it in because this is not a premium account. I think this reflects debuff or disables. Oh, disables. Ooh, interesting. This could be a good one for PvP. Yeah, interesting. In the alpha, this one stole divinity, so it's completely changed. We do not know what temporal Aegis is, nor do we know what arcane Aegis is. Those are new. Those were not in the alpha. What does Ankh do? Increase the amount of barrier or shield gained by this hero. That's not bad. Increase damage inflicted to bosses, starting at base 10%. This could be really good on Beowulf, dude. I wonder if this is Beowulf's weapon. Because he's already got like a passive that does extra 30% damage to bosses or something crazy like that. I'm glad to hear you had a great Christmas, Joy B. That sounds nice. A little DIY crafting. When I was little, I used to go to my grandma's every Christmas, and she would ahead of time she would bake sugar cookies, and then we would come over to her house. We would decorate them with frosting. It was really fun. That was like our tradition when I was little. Inflict 20 up to 44% increased damage to barrier. Ooh, this is really cool. So if like a barrier meta ever forms in the arena, there's already a weapon built in to help punch through that. That's really neat. Oh, with cookies. Nice. Awesome. Ooh. Oh, speaking of Beowulf, let's look. Yeah, so Inflix, his. If you guys don't know, every hero has a passive, and those passive can be extracted at the cost of destroying the hero. Their passive ability usually is like cut in half when you turn it into an imprint. So when you see an imprint, you generally, as a rule of thumb, you want to double it, and that's what the hero's passive does. It's not always that simple, but that's like a general way to look at it. So because his imprint reads inflicts 15% increased damage to brawlers and bosses, on the hero himself the passive is probably 30%. So yeah, so this epic weapon on Beowulf would be really crazy. And Beowulf does a ton of enemy max HP damage too. He's already like the premium boss slayer. At least he was in alpha. Hey, what's up, Pone Cakes? Welcome, bud. Pone Cakes has also been streaming the minigame lately. Yeah, Wilson, Heimdall is really good. I would not be displeased if I were to get Heimdall from the minigame. How's the grind going? Hey, we just started over, man. I hit the Aether bug on both of my accounts, so I finished grinding for Aether on both accounts, so I got bored and started a new one. So depending on which, obviously this one is free to play, so between this one and my other one, whichever one ends up with the best hero and weapons and imprints and all that, is probably the account I'm going to go with. Oh, same? Yeah, did you re-roll a new account too? Do I think there will be a guaranteed legendary at launch? Probably not at launch. Well, when you say launch, do you mean when early access begins, or do you mean like global launch? Global launch? Maybe. Because people joining the game at global launch, if they're just joining at global launch, they will not have participated in this event to start with something cool. And if you watch Ned Crash's interview with Susie was talking about how they're already planning how to navigate the new player experience as time goes on in Godforge. Now, does that mean that they're guaranteed to do guaranteed legendary giveaways? No. But it does sound like they have plans in mind to help new players catch up and get in the game. So global launch, possibly. I wouldn't discount the possibility. Early access, probably not, since that's what this is for. But those are just my thoughts. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating based off of literally nothing. Aether bug, yeah, okay, so I don't want to say how it happens because I don't want people to exploit it, but it is such that through locking in certain things and doing it in a certain order, you can accidentally gain like 20,000 Aether. So, yeah. Scott, we haven't seen anything like that announced, but I'm sure they have hinted that there will be some such mission or quest line that leads you to a powerful hero. They've talked about it akin to like the Arbiter missions. But I'm sure they're gonna have, I mean, as players of the genre, avid players of the genre, they know how much we like that sort of thing, and I'd be shocked if they didn't. But if there is such a thing, they haven't given us any specific detailed information. I think they're trying to save a lot of that kind of exciting like stuff for us to discover organically when we play the game for the first time. Oh, community giveaway accounts, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I that crossed my mind, but yeah, it would take a lot of work. And once I go back to work, I won't have the free time to manage all of them. So I'd have to finish them in like a week, and if I'm assuming they'll fix all the Aether bugs. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Oh, right. Yeah, Scott, I do know that they're going to have a game mode called the Tower of Strife. But what we experienced in the alpha, in terms of like getting heroes for free for how do I want to phrase this? In the alpha, you can grind and earn epic and legendary heroes just from playing the game and beating the floors. That is not how hero acquisition is going to work at launch. It's going to be a shard summoning system like what we see with these. There might be ways to earn shards from completing certain content, but yeah, we're not going to be able to acquire heroes in early access like we did in alpha. Yeah, that's a smart way to approach it, Pancakes. And at the end of the day, that's all people really want. Like these degenerate junkies just want their legendaries, you know? And I'm assuming, now again, keyword here, assuming, because we don't actually know. I am assuming there will be some sort of dungeon in the game where we can farm weapons, or at least grind for them. So I think getting the legendaries off the bat and locking those in is probably more value anyway. Not to say that there's not good value in weapons, but yeah, if you're making like 20 or 30 accounts or more, like I know 9 made like 100 to help gather data for the Hive Mind folks. I was messaging him the other day. That made me laugh. That's like 100 accounts, really, dude? You're nuts. But yeah, that's wild. That's an interesting point, Joey B. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to make salted email accounts. I was gonna make 2 accounts to play with tonight, just so I could have 2 screens going at once. But Google wouldn't let me make another Gmail account. So I was like, yeah, well, I'll just do one. It's fine. Yeah, Scott, Mordred was really good. I've got him locked in on my first free-to-play account. Yeah, I haven't seen any legendaries on that one either. But right now, this account's gonna start with a +1 Guan Yu. Gotta get that level 1 awakening bonus. I really hope they didn't change Mordred's kit from the alpha. I think, Joey B, there's a limit to how many you can create in a certain amount of time. Because it was making me use my phone to scan a QR code, and then it told me like too many accounts under this attached to this phone number have been created too recently. So I think if I wait a week or 2 or something, it might let me do more, but by that point I'm not gonna mess with it. Scott, we don't really know a whole lot of details about what the resource acquisition is going to be like. We do know that there are rifts that appear. We don't know what triggers the rift, but we do know they exist. We also know that there's going to be a resource called Rift Keys. I don't know how we acquire them, but we do know that they exist. But when a rift spawns, if you enter the rift, Simon has said that that's where we farm our skill ups. So it does appear as though skill ups will be farmable in Godforge to some degree. But again, we don't know what triggers a rift to open. We don't know how, if they're random or if you can force it to open. Like, there's so many variables that we don't know, but we do know that they will be farmable to some degree. But generally speaking, I think, I don't know, I don't want to say building a legendary is a mistake, because on average their kits are more powerful, and a lot of the legendaries that we've seen, their kits look really good. They're going to be very hard carries early, even without books and stuff like that. So ultimately, I think the best thing to do is wait for the game to come out, evaluate how easy or difficult it is to farm those resources for building our heroes, and once we see, then make an educated assessment at that point, because anything right now is just pure speculation. Which, don't get me wrong, I love speculating, but I'm also very much a fly by the seat of my pants type of guy. I don't like to go in with a hard plan with everything figured out. Like, I'm trying to go in as blind as possible so I can have a very organic discovery process when we go into the game for the first time. To me, that's just the most fun way to do it. That's very true too. Yeah, there's a very good Discord community for yeah, if you got questions, but a lot of these questions probably won't be able to be answered by the Discord, unfortunately. You are asking some really important questions, but unfortunately we just don't have those answers right now. Yeah, I haven't been looking at the kits of the only hero kits I've looked at. Yeah, mustache hair in my mouth. The only kits I've really looked at are for Sizzin. Because he's who I pulled on my main account. And I think there's a high probability that what we've seen could change, because they've already changed his passive. And I think they probably wanted him to have that level. I think they wanted him to be, because like when you look at his kit as it actually, let me pull up that spreadsheet. So obviously this is all subject to change, don't take this to the bank, but this was created by Stormcrow from the ELT Pantheon, so credit to him. His core ability attacks all enemies, and he puts Blaze for 2 turns. I'm assuming this 75 books up to 100. And the ultimate says attacks all enemies, activate Acid and Blaze on each target. Also apply precision on this here for 1 turn. I think precision is increased accuracy. Probably. I'd have to double check on that. I don't know for sure. And gain 50 divinity and when inflicting damage to an enemy under Acid or Blaze. Now, we don't have the core ability yet. So we don't know. Actually, I probably just could have done this. We don't have the core ability yet, but if you look at the art assets for the core ability, there's a green skull with like green, it's either some sort of liquid or noxious gas going into a pool underneath the skull. So I am of the assumption, based on the context clues, he gains divinity when attacking enemies under Acid or Blaze. Attacks an enemy, activate Acid and Blaze, but his core ability only places Blaze. But the basic attack, we haven't seen it yet, but we've seen the art asset. It's a green skull with like a green pool of liquid under it. I'm assuming he places Acid on his basic attack. So right off the bat, he's got 2 enemy max HP damage debuffs, and he activates them with his ult. So I'm assuming, I'm making a very bold assumption based on the context clues that he will have acid on his basic. So under that assumption, acid on his basic, blaze on his core, and activate them on his ult. His passive used to read something to the effect of, whenever attacking an enemy under some condition, destroy 5% of their max HP. So he was doing enemy max HP damage on his passive, but they changed it because as an imprint, like being able to imprint that on all 5 of your heroes, you just blast and annihilate the boss. So it's understandable why they changed it, but I think they likely want him to still be that premium boss killer. So I'm assuming they're reworking his kit a little bit to get that back into his kit somewhere. Again, assuming, this is just me thinking out loud. I don't have any concrete evidence to support this theory, but I'm assuming they're they might rework that destroy max HP mechanic into his kit somewhere else so he can still do that. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's my tinfoil hat moment. Shishi Guan Yu Isolde was a minigame champ like Vivienne. Would leave one spot for another order unit. Oh, I see what you're saying. That would leave one, yeah. Yeah, oh man, Shishi Guan, if Shishi's kit remains unchanged moving into early access, and they fix the bug where he doesn't bring TN allies in with his joint attack, yeah, Shishi Guan Yu, huge synergy. Yeah, Vivian looks really cool too, man. I almost want to pull her just so I could rub it in Ragewood's face. Nah, man, the advice that I will give to people generally is that a good support carry is going to do more work for you long term than a damage dealer. But me personally, I know that I'm a good enough player that I can get to the end game without a strong support carry. So because of that, I'm tempted to keep Sizzin. If once we see his kit, it shows that he's going to be like the Theodore of Godforge, I'll probably keep him. Because like, if he's like the ultimate end game dungeon speedrunning, speed farming champion or hero, I would be a fool to throw that away just to get to the end game like 2 or 3 days faster. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't, it seems like a big sacrifice to me. I don't know. But I think for the average player, if you're the type of player who doesn't play on manual, who doesn't really roll up their sleeves and get down into the nitty gritty, and you just kind of like to hit auto and let it go, I think a strong support is the best bet. Yeah, Vivian looks so good. The fact that she's a buff extender, I don't think we've seen any other heroes. Well, there's that rare from Alpha. I can't say her name, from Aru faction. Onkananishinamanettu or something crazy like that. I think it was a 5-turn cooldown, or it was on her ult or something, and it took forever to charge. I don't know. Like, the fact that Vivian has a buff extension with buffs included on the skill, likely booking to a 3-turn cooldown, that's really good, and a joint attack. Yeah, Onk. Yeah. I think it was like a 5-turn cooldown or something. So Onk and Vivian are the only 2 buff extenders that we've seen so far. That's not to say there aren't more, it's just those are the ones we've seen. And she brings really good buffs to extend. And when in a PvP scenario, when you do your joint attack, especially if you have Excalibur on her, joint attack, you're likely going to kill the target of the joint attack, and then you'll likely get the turn meter boost too. Like, she looks really good. It would be difficult for me to pass her up, but at the same time, like, having the ultimate, the prospect of having Sizzin locked in, you know, like, that excites me. Like, I already potentially have the ultimate endgame boss killer, dungeon speedrunner like guy. It's hard to like turn your nose up at. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see how I'm feeling when once we see the kits and I read them and review them. I'll pull my shards and then I'll make that decision when the day comes. Yeah, Scott, I would recommend saving your shards until we see the hero kits revealed on Godforge.gg. And I'm sure all the content creators are going to do their tier lists. I said earlier at the top of the stream, I'm not going to do a tier list per se, but rather a wish list. Just to kind of give the community an idea of the heroes that I would like to see, rather than rating everything on a scale of 1 to 5. Just these are the ones that I'd be excited to get. It's a little bit easier to digest. Gives you an idea what I'm looking for, but it's more in line with the style of content that I do on my channel. I'm not really like a get into the nitty-gritty min-max spreadsheet tier list. That's not really my style. My channel is mostly for entertainment purposes. I'm here to entertain. That's, you know. I'll probably do some hero guides too. I love doing hero guides. Or not hero guides, just guides in general. But once I'm out of guides to make, I'm mostly just going to be live streaming, hanging out with you guys. Maybe make some funny videos if I have an idea for one. That's a really good point, Pone Cakes. Yeah, man. They all look super cool. I mean, I think that's just because... Oh. I'll wait 2 seconds to capitalize on that. Oh, no, not that one. This one. Yeah, they all look good, man. Joey B, do you have a potty mouth? Yeah, I don't know why it does that, Joey B. It does. I know Sakib reports that it happens to him a lot too. I don't know. Sometimes just YouTube doesn't let the chat messages go through. And oftentimes it's for like no reason. What I could do is change the auto mod settings to none. But that's kind of scary. Because if someone comes in and starts just throwing out racial slurs, they'll go through. Oh. Pone Cakes, do you have a waifu in Godforge yet? I know Ragewood is gunning for Vivian. I think it's widely known that I'm rather taken by Isolde. Speaking of Isolde, I really hope they didn't nerf her kit. I really hope they only change. Like I saw that the imprint was different, but I'm hoping that's just how the imprint reads and her passive remains the same. There's a couple. Ooh, you stud. So who are you eyeballing, Pone Cakes? Oh, not in game? Oh, I see. Yeah, and she had like attack up 1 and defense up 1 when she was fully awake. Like, that is a rare that you can get to Awaken 5 and she will still have value in the late game. I'm not saying she's like in game top tier, but like she can get you to the end game with her kit as it was. Like, get you there, and then once you pull better options, obviously you could replace her, but yeah, she was like in the analogy that I used during the alpha is like she was like spirit host and apothecary like mixed together. Like very good and worth awakening all the way to 5. Also, she's my girl. I'd be sad if she got nerfed. I 100% agree with that assessment, Pone Cakes. It does look like the imprint what does the imprint read? Dang it, I forgot already. Let's see if Zaf has it on his spreadsheet. Where's it at? I'm in the wrong server. Community resources. Does he have rares in here? No, he stops at epic. Okay. I'm sure. Ooh. Do I wait a minute and a half now? I'll just do this now. It's not worth it. It's not worth waiting. Yeah, waiting 1.5 minutes to gain 50% more value on a 1-minute quest is not worth it. It wouldn't even. Yeah. So I will do 1.5 quests in this. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it to wait in that scenario. If it was like 20 seconds, I might have waited. I think 30 seconds would have been the cutoff where 30 seconds or more, it wouldn't be worth it to wait, but 30 seconds or less, it'd technically be like slightly worth it to wait. Yeah. Yeah, I like Brynhild a lot too. Yeah, she was great. Hopefully they fixed the bug with the radiance though. Yeah. Like, this is the first time I've ever grown my mustache out this long. Normally I keep it short, like kind of like how Unbound Sage does. Like you can see Unbound Sage has a really big beard, but he keeps his mustache trimmed really short. In the past, when I've grown out my beard, I've always done it that way. This is the first time I've ever grown out my mustache. It is really hard to drink a beer when you have a mustache dangling down over your lips. And I have to eat most foods with a fork too. The twins. Oh, Muse? I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Muse. When I saw Muse, I was like, oh, maybe I jumped on the Isolde train too soon. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Joyby. Now, this is tinfoil hat speculation. I have no basis in which to confirm this theory. This is just a theory that I have. I am of the opinion, again, this is my opinion, my theory, my speculation, that we will get Brynhild at some point as a daily login reward. Like, possibly 3 days, possibly 5 days, possibly 7 days. And the reason why I think that is because we see Brynhild as like a prominent figure in the Godforge announcement trailer, the cinematic trailer, looking like a total badass. So automatically, people coming into the game are going to have that emotional connection to Brynhild. And when they log into the game and they complete the tutorial and they see that they can get that badass heroine from the trailer if they just play for 7 days or whatever they make it, maybe it's a 30-day, who knows. I think it would behoove Fateless to dangle that carrot. So I would not recommend swapping out Morgan Le Fay for Brynhild, because I am of the opinion, not fact. This is what I hope / believe, that we'll see Brynhild as an early login hero. So, also, you don't throw away a free legendary, because Morgan Le Fay had a cool passive. I forget exactly what it did, but I remember like going through the list of imprints and thinking like, wow, that's kind of cool. I forgot what it did though, but I remember it stuck with me. Like, it had an impression on me. I think it had something to do with like it did something to the enemies and did something for your allies. I think now I want to look it up. Gosh dang it. All right, getting the spreadsheet back out. Who are we talking about? Oh no, this is the weapons. Oh, I was on the wrong tab. That's why we didn't see. Okay, who were we looking at? Who were we looking for? I don't remember. I was on the wrong tab. That's a Soldi, right? I don't know. Hold on. Let me get this. I got a min-max. Click. Click. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Pazuzu's look so awesome though. Wait, enemy. No, not Pazuzu. What's the one where you explode the enemies? Hold on. I'm a little buzzed, so I'm all over the place right now. I apologize. Lamash 2? Is that it? Hold on. Lamash 2. Yeah, this one looks hilarious. When this hero defeats an enemy, they explode, inflicting 25% attack to all enemies, which ignores 100% defense, but cannot be critical. That is hilarious. That is so funny to me. Who were we talking about? Morgan Le Fay. Okay, yeah. That's what I wanted to look at. Early on, I had speculated that Morgan Le Fay and the Morgan could be embodied in the same character. But it turns out they're not going that direction, which I think is cool. Oh, we're in epics now. Did I skip it? Morgan. Oh, maybe, I guess it's not on Zav's sheet. How unlike Zavarok. Oh, that's probably it then. Dude, I swear, this is just, I think I got my drunk goggles on. I swear this said MILF. Maybe I saw the Morgan and I got him confused in my head. Yeah, I was probably thinking of the Morrigan. I just got confused. Oh, okay. Okay. So speaking of Sizzin, that's who I have locked in right now on my main account. I know that all the experts are saying like Forge Fire and Excalibur and the one that eats the buffs and converts it into turn meter. Okay, that one is actually freaking insane. Turn meter, initiative, and damage bonus. Those are the 3 weapons that everyone should lock in. But I'm calling an audible because I'm a wild card. Right now I have Ra's weapon locked in. That once it's maxed out, you increase damage from debuffs by 75% because Sizzin's doing the acids and the burns. So if I keep Sizzin locked in, I'm gonna go with Ra's weapon because I'm feeling spicy. Hey, what's up, Lishi? Merry Christmas to you and yours. Yeah, I got Forge Fire locked on my other free-to-play and Sun Wukong's imprint with Mordred is my hero locked in. Yeah, I definitely locked Forge Fire. I don't know. I'm the kind of person who likes to do what looks fun. I'm not always the type of person who will only do the literal most optimal thing at all times. Just just because it's fun for me to be like try to be creative. I haven't really even looked at the epic weapons. I did see, I think this one looks really cool for someone like Beowulf. That would be sick. I think this one could be good if a barrier meta in PvP ever like becomes a thing and we need to crash through barriers. I wish it was shields and barriers. That would make it so much more viable and so much less niche, unless there's a boss in the game that has barrier, you know. But like there could obviously be use cases for all of them. Oh, we're doing pretty good. I'm enjoying a Boulevard Wheat, my brewski of choice. Crook is your hidden horse. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for Crook. Is that the one that looks like a, like it might be wielded by Ramses or something? I don't know. I'll keep an eye out. Like that's one of the things I haven't really researched, and it's one like whenever this refreshes, I'll look at the options, evaluate them, and then make a choice on the spot. Like I don't want to be like this is the one, right? Is everyone? Yeah. Nam Saru. Buffs placed on this hero are instantly removed, granting divinity and turn meter and a permanent damage increase of 5%. I know a lot of people are speculating that perhaps this scales infinitely, and I think that's a possibility, but if you look right here, this also starts at 5. So I think it could cap out at 11, but we'll have to wait and see. I think it could easily go either way. I obviously don't know everything. This is my speculation. I like to be cautiously optimistic when I evaluate things. Attacks trigger blaze, acid, or bleed stacks. Ooh, that could be a good one for actually you wouldn't want that on Sizzin because he does that with his ult anyway. So yeah, I think boosting his damage from debuffs by 75% could make him really OP. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, Scott. But when you think about it, like if you're constantly having your buffs removed, like unless it stops removing your buffs when you reach the limit, I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense, Bone Cakes. I'll keep an eye out for it. I like just exploring them when they pop up. Like I don't know what this girl does. I don't even know how to say her name. Xochiquetzal. That was actually surprisingly easy. This hero inflicts 10% increased damage to enemies under charm. That seems a little too niche. This hero gains effects depending on the stacks of bleed on the enemy team. I overlooked that part the first time I saw it. So when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, does bleed go to 20 stacks now?" But it says the enemy team. Yeah. Okay. I still don't know what to do it. 15 seconds. I still don't know what this guy does. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm wondering, well, yeah. That's a good point. Because in the right team setup, that could be ludicrous and bonkers. Yeah, I could see that one being adjusted at some point during the early access if it gets too out of hand, for sure. Because you gotta think, like a lot of people who do turn meter boosts are also placing buffs when they do it too. So you're already getting like a 20% turn meter boost, increased speed, increased attack, or whatever. Like, so you're getting turn meter boost, and then the buffs go up, then you get 2 more turn meter boosts. and then you have another support go to give you another, you know, like if you have even just Isolde at Awaken 5, she did increase attack up 1 and defense up 1. So, and a turn meter boost on that. So you can do another turn meter boost with 2 more buffs, which gives you 2 more, like, and then by the time you get to your nuker, he's like totally yoked. Just yoked out of his mind. Ready to slap. Yeah. So that's definitely something I could see being adjusted. I think once we start doing PvP and people really start abusing stuff like that, we might see some adjustments. Yeah, that would be hilarious, Bone Cakes. It's like that highlight from Hell Hades channel way back in the day where was it Angar? He just attacked like 20 times in a row. Because I think his base or his A1 had a chance to grant an extra turn, and then I think Hell Hades had him in Relentless. So between the natural proc of the skill and Relentless set procking, like Angar was just like, or maybe it wasn't Angar, I forget who it was. It was someone from the Orcs faction, I think, but he attacked like 20 times in a row. So like little things like that. Like I think we're gonna see those unexpected moments that make Fateless kind of scratch their head and be like, maybe we need to change this a little bit. Yeah, it's a classic, man. And not only was it funny to watch, but listening to Simon, that was back before Simon had a face cam in his videos, just hearing him giggle, like you're hearing how much fun he was having with it. And it got to a point where like it wasn't even fun anymore. He was just getting annoyed. Yeah, that was good stuff. Good stuff. But those are those moments like that. That's something that happened like 5 years ago, and we're still talking about it today. So I think it's cool to have those types of things in the early game while people are still discovering stuff. I think it's okay to like take chances and let the community like. I would rather them take chances and have to nerf something than to just always play it safe and have the game be boring. That's where I'm at personally. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh my god, I got so triggered earlier today. So at one point last night, some dude came in the Discord and started like crashing out because we didn't get a bunch of free shit for Christmas. And I was like, bro, it's like there was no event for the minigame and we didn't get any free stuff or blah, blah. I was like, dude, the minigame is the Christmas event. They didn't have to make this event for us. Like, they gave us something to do while we wait for the game, and they didn't have to. This is something that took development time and they put resources into. Like, and everyone was telling him that he was entitled, and he's like, no, it's not entitlement, it's called building a brand. And like, I was like, dude, you eventually I just had to stop. I took a deep breath, centered myself, and then I was just like, all right, guys, clearly this guy's got his opinion. We don't have to agree with it, and it's fine. Like, just calm down. But dude, everyone was jumping on this guy's back, getting after pitchforks. That's what I was saying, dude. I was like, dude, we get 20 free summons a day, every day for 40 days to try to pick a legendary for free that we will start the game with, and you're complaining that we're not getting enough? What's up, Mirth? Yeah, dude, I was just like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. I don't normally allow myself to lose my temper when I'm on the Fateless Discord. I might vent in my own personal Discord because at that point I'm not representing the Fateless team, but I went off on him. I was like, dude, you're nuts. This is the most cringe thing I've ever seen on the internet. Apparently you can't please everyone. It blew my mind. Hold me back. Hold me back. That's a good point too, Scott. Yeah, they're already giving us so much. We get to literally choose a free hero from among hundreds of summons to start the game with. We get a cool, limited edition, will never be able to be obtained again, free hero portrait to show that we were there on the ground floor before the game came out. Bragging rights, exclusive hero portrait. We get potentially a legendary weapon and a legendary imprint. They've already, and it wasn't enough for this begging chooser. Like, I about had an aneurysm. Yeah, and a starter champ. And there's probably gonna be free login hero rewards like we see in other games. Like, yeah, it's. I'm hesitant to put that high a dollar value on it because we're not keeping all of the heroes that we summon. It's not like we, you know, it's not like they're actually giving us shards and now we have like 200 rares to use as 3-star chickens, you know, but it's still insane. Like, they're giving us agency over the legendary. Like, there's still some randomness in it. Obviously there's RNG with who we summon, but if you summon 4 different legendaries, you get a choice between 4 to lock in who you want to start the game with. That is massive. That is insane, dude. But yeah, between me, Joyabi, and Nicholas, we were all like, guys, chill. Like, we had to tell everyone to put the pitchforks away. So yes, it's stupid. It's a stupid take, but he's allowed to feel that way. That doesn't mean he's right, or we have to agree with him, but he's allowed to feel that way. So let's just change the subject and move on. Oh, thank you, Joyby. I am generally a pretty nice guy. And I always try to word things in the most diplomatic way possible. And in that moment, a few things slipped through the filter. So from my perspective, I felt like I was being a little harsh, because I didn't hold back as much as my instincts were telling me to. So maybe you're right. Maybe I didn't come off that harsh, but it was harsh for me. Like on the Adam scale, that's probably the most I've gone off on someone in the Discord. So, so like, I don't know. I'm a pretty chill dude, but that got me hot. I was heated. Them's were fighting words. So their stance on that, Scott, also, I feel like I've seen you around in the past. It's nice to see you again. I'm glad you're coming back around on the channel. I haven't seen you in a while. So that right now, from what I understand on the team, is they don't want to have something like the Hell Hades optimizer on the official Godforge channel. However, if a member of the community were to create such a resource, they would encourage it and they would not ask them to take it down. Like, they want to be supportive of community making resources for their game, but they want to give the community the opportunity to do that sort of thing. I believe they are of the opinion, and I share this opinion, by the way, that if you added something like that in the game, or you put it on the official website from day one, it allows players to not learn the game. They use the tools as a crutch. It's good to learn how to gear your heroes. It's important because it helps you understand what every type of hero needs. So when you pull a new hero, you could evaluate their kit and be like, oh, I'm recognizing patterns. This is a disruptor. I know that I'm going to want speed and accuracy and prioritize that over damage, because, and then you, like, learning these things are important. And if the game spoon feeds that shit for you, it's a crutch and you cease to learn about the game. And I think that's bad. I think players should be encouraged to figure it out for themselves. And if they are having troubles, seek out help from the community. Like, hey guys, I just pulled this hero. How should I build them? If you launch an official tool on the official site that tells you how to do it without having to use your brain, you cut out the middleman, and there's no more, it cuts back on community engagement. And one of the things that, the best part about Raid is the community. And I firmly believe the reason for that is because Raid was a very complicated game with a lot of minutia. And because of that, it was difficult for a lot of casual players to fully grasp it, and they would need to ask for help. So we as a community come together and help each other out to help figure things out. And that's why Raid's community feels so great in spite of Plarium. And if you were to include some such feature like that in the game or on the official site, you would, an unintended consequence of that would be there would be less community engagement and community building. So that's my soapbox stance on tools like the optimizer. I do not know what an API is. I apologize. Bro, Joy, be your weather gif of the weatherman like stroking the suspicious looking cloud or weather front. Oh, it looks like Mirthology answered your question. Thank you, Mirth. So I fell behind on chat because I was ranting on my soapbox. 15 accounts? No. This is number 3. I need to figure out how to make spoof emails, and then maybe, I think the most I would play at a time is 4, because I could do I've got Windows, like I can, you know, I could min max 4 accounts like that pretty easily. Yeah, no, I was planning to do 2 for tonight, but I couldn't. Google wouldn't let me make any more fake email addresses, so. I understand the ATH optimizer, but RSL helper, I hated the fact that RSL helper existed. I never used it, and I thought it was completely, the fact that it did so much for, like, why even play the game at that point? Like, if it's playing the game for you, like, I don't know. I know that's probably a hot take, but I never used RSL helper, and it defeated the purpose of playing a game. I know everybody's got, you know, not everybody has a job like I have, where I have lots of downtime and I can babysit the game and do auto runs and stuff. I get it. But man, when you give that much agency over your account to an automated process, at what point are you playing the game? That's how I feel. And I don't begrudge you if you enjoyed a service like RSL helper, but I definitely don't think anything like that should be implemented organically into the game. Like, at some point you still need to play the game. I don't know. RSL helper makes it easy to multi-box. Yeah, well, okay. Like, so I don't know. I'm less, I would be more okay with an RSL helper type service, because I understand that people have busy lives, but I definitely don't think there should be a built-in gear optimizer. I don't know if they've said Solar Nebula. I would be shocked if they didn't have a mercy count in Godforge. I know there isn't one for the minigame, because if you play every day from the beginning, I think you end up with like 400 summons as a free-to-play. So like, do you really need a pity if you're getting 400 free summons. I don't know, maybe. Some people might whiff, and that would be really unfortunate, but again, it's like free. I don't know. I would be shocked if they didn't have a mercy timer, a mercy system in Godforge at launch. I would be shocked, because like this mini game and the actual game proper are two completely different things. Like not having a mercy timer in this is, it's like whatever, who cares. But in the actual game, when people are like, I don't want to, when people are spending copious amounts of money buying shards, like, yes, there's the premium and it costs $10, but like, it's $10 fucking dollars. Like, who cares? Like, just, and it's, you're still getting triple the amount as normal. Like, do you really need a pity when you get 60 summons a day for 40 days? Like, there, according to Unbound Sage's math, like the odds of not pulling a legendary if you get the premium are like astronomical. Is it technically possible? Yes, but it is so unlikely. I don't think they need a mercy system for the minigame. But at launch, if someone spends $300 on ancient shards and they buy 250 shards or whatever, however much it's going to cost, if they spend that much money on that many shards and they whiff, that is going to piss people off. Like, that's the kind of thing that will make people rage quit your game. You need a pity in the game. Yeah, it was like 99.99996% chance of getting a legendary if you do premium. Like, still technically within the realm of possibility, but like, it's so it would be so astronomically rare. Yeah, I maxed out my Aether count too, Solar Nebula. That's why I started a new one. Yeah, like, if you like, you would have to be so unlucky. I don't think people who are currently Krakens in Raid and currently enjoying Raid and currently spending and engaging with Raid on a daily basis, who are perfectly content playing Raid, will stop playing Raid to come to Godforge. I think people who are feeling a bit disenfranchised from Raid Shadow Legends and they've been waiting for something new to come along, those are probably going to be the people who migrate. But if there's like a top arena plat player who spends $100,000 a month and he's perfectly content playing, like, players like that aren't going to come over. But I have seen a few folks in the private Patreon chat who are quite wealthy talking about how much they're going to spend on Godforge. So, you know, and who have come from Raid Shadow Legends, but they quit playing Raid a long time ago because they're fed up with the bullshit. So there are some people, but I wouldn't expect Godforge to snipe all those Krakens, because you got to imagine, like, there are players who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, there's some serious sunk cost in that. Like, who's going to walk away from like 200 or 300 grand just because a new game came out? Like, at that point, you grind your teeth and you deal with it. Oh, why do you do that to yourself, Scott? Yeah, there's definitely a sunk cost fallacy mindset for a lot of people, I think. Same hero in each slot? You mean like a hero and then like the same imprint? I don't know. But just so you know, it will be such that you cannot put a imprint from the hero on the hero. So if I had a Guan Yu imprint, I could not imprint Guan Yu's imprint onto the weapon Guan Yu is wielding. It won't. Simon has said that the game won't let you equip the weapon Like if I had Guan Yu's imprint on a weapon, I could not equip that weapon to Guan Yu. Would I want a permanent fusion in Godforge? Yes. I don't know how they should approach fusions, but I think there should be good heroes for people to look forward to and work towards. That when they acquire them, they will have an impact to some degree. And I'm not saying they should make them like the most OP in the game, but like Rosin at the time was probably worth it back in the day. These days, he's not. And the reason I say that is one of his best use cases back in the day was that he could be your force affinity tank for Spider 20. But guess who they added who does that job 100 times better? Drexlar Blood Twin. So like why would you fuse Rosin, who does basically nothing in Spider, to be your negative affinity Spider tank when you could have Drexlar Blood Twin, who puts out AoE HP burns as your tank? Like, so he got replaced. Rosin's best use case was he was power crept by a different free hero. Like I had an account and I did a series called the Free to Play Rares Only Plus. And on that account, I was only using rares, uncommons, or commons, plus any champion who was free and permanently available. I never fused Rosin on that account because I didn't need him on that account. If an account where you're only using free and permanently available heroes has no use case for Rosin Scarhide needs a buff. Maybe that's a hot take, but like literally the one account in the world who should be looking forward to obtaining him had no use for him. Something's wrong with that picture. Maybe that's a hot take. Call me crazy, but yeah, I never fused Rosin on that account. And to be fair, part of that is because the one place I would use him in would be Clan Boss. But the Clan Boss team I had, there was no way for me to work him into that team. So, but even still, like, his one place where he's actually good are in traditional, like, I don't know, not unkillable teams. But there's so many like unkillable speed tunes these days that no one really needs Rosin. I think all they would have to do to make him viable would be his A2, where it does decreased defense and weaken on a single target. Instead, make it so that he attacks one target and places weaken on that target, and then decreased defense is placed on the entire enemy team. Make the decreased defense portion of his A2 and AoE. So it places, no. I had it figured out a while back and I forgot, but I'm remembering now. Okay. You make it such that he does AoE decreased defense and then attack one target and then place weaken on that target. That would make him insanely more viable. And then you take his A3, and then rather than having it be a 7-turn cooldown, you make it so it's a 3-turn cooldown. And then he's fixed. You don't have to do anything else. Rosin's a great hero all of a sudden. Not OP, but just good enough for people to put in their teams. They did give Artak for free. He's not free and permanently available though, unless they changed something about that. Gift of Ingenuity. What hero is that from? Increase healing from mend. Oh, I think that's really niche, and it will depend if you have a hero who places lots of mends. Like if you have an Isis, I think she at a certain awakening level she does mends when she does her basic attack. I think that could be good with someone like Isis, who's just doing tons of men's. But in general, I would look for something that's less niche, I guess. Like here, I have my wish list that I made. I'll show you my wish list. This is my wish list. So Pengu, if you have high initiative, it's a 10% turn meter reduction. If you have high speed, it's steal, 10% turn meter steal. If you have high speed, it's a 10% initiative steal. So that is just a generally good imprint for anybody. Like, you're either stealing turn meter or you're stealing initiative. That's really strong, especially against bosses, keeping them from using their ults. Or, you know, you get what I'm saying. So Pengu's a good one. Fijian, I forgot what he does. Hercules, that's a good one. Lamash 2 looks really fun. Talalok, Oda Nobunga, and Sun Wukong. Like, I forget what they did. I didn't write it down. I should probably write it down so I know, but these are just the ones that I'm keeping an eye out for. I'll be looking for these ones very aggressively because they're just generally good in a lot of situations. Like the one you asked about with the mend, like that's really niche and it's only going to be good on heroes who place a lot of mend buffs. Yeah. Less nicheness, more OP-ness. That is correct, Joy B. How many buffs a month would I want to see in Godforge? As many as are necessary. Like, ideally, you don't have to do a bunch because the game is just balanced and everything feels good. But if at any point there are heroes that just literally no one is using, help them out a little bit. And if they stay on top of it from the beginning, it'll get to a point where they kind of don't need to do a whole bunch of buffs. But Raid ignored the first 500 heroes that came out in their game for 10 years. And now everything's been power creep so hard that the old legendaries aren't good anymore. So now it feels like they have to do 20 a month to get everything back on track. But yeah, I think if they have the mindset of balancing things early and often, we won't find ourselves in that same position that we see ourselves in Raid. That's a good question. Would I like a frame or avatar or trophies that signifies free to play? Not necessarily. No, the problem with that, Scott, is that it would encourage people not to spend, and as a business, that's generally a poor practice. I don't think they should reward people for not spending. I know it sounds, and that's coming from someone who's an avid free-to-play player. I just think it's a bad business model, and I want to see Fateless make lots of money so they can be successful and make even more games across other genres, or just continue keeping making Godforge. Yeah, I'm assuming within the first week or two of January, we are likely to see the hero kits. That's my assumption, because I know they want to get it out before the event ends and give people plenty of time to give the content creators time to make their tier lists and thoughts and opinions and give people time to consume that and then make an educated choice. I'm assuming they're going to want to get it out as soon as possible, but they're also going to want to make sure that it's as done as possible before they get it out. My guess would be third week of January at the latest. What unknown hero would you want to take based on the looks? Before we saw any of the kits, I thought Sizzin looked really cool. So I was stoked when I pulled him because I was like, oh man, he looks so cool. So even without like knowing kits, he would have been my pick probably. Or maybe a top-notch waifu, I don't know. Grendel, yeah, Grendel's pretty cool. Maybe I'm biased because I know that Beowulf is going to be a big dick boss slayer, but I would have picked him based on knowing his kit, so I guess that's not, but he does look cool. Like, he's got the Viking beard. I could relate on a deep emotional level. Yeah, I don't know. Unknown hero would I take? Yeah. Before we saw any kits, Sizzon was definitely the one that I thought looked really cool. I'm trying to think if there's another. Heimdall's pretty badass looking. Oh, Quetzalcoatl. Anything like that, where they look so much different than all the others, like they really stand out. The Bat guy, whose idol breaker is that he turns upside down and hangs from the ceiling of the character screen, that's really cool. Quirky stuff like that I like a lot, and he just looks really cool. Yeah, heroes like that. Beard indicates more chance of deep emotional level. Yes, that's why I like Guan Yu. He's my bearded brother. Oh, Medusa. Yeah, she's got a nice kit, we'll put it that way. Yeah, the Batman's cool. Yeah, just from like, how do I phrase this delicately? She has a supple bosom. Yeah, I would not be mad if I summoned Medusa. I was looking at kits, and I think Artemis skill kits look pretty cool. Hotata? I don't know what the Hotata is. Is that I'm not big on like mythology, honestly. Like, I know there are a lot of people who are drawn to Godforge because it's gods, myths, and legends, and that's their jam. But I just like turn-based hero collector RPGs, man. That's why I'm here. But I will say, the more I've been paying attention to this game, the more excited I am about the story and the lore, and to like discover these mythologies for the first time. Because there's so much, because it's not something I've been into. It's definitely been fun to learn about it. Oh, right, Lishi. Yeah, no, I didn't, trust me, I wasn't looking into her eyes. Let's see if I can find a picture of her real quick for you. Images. Medusa. Godforge. Let's see here. None of these are from Godforge. Hold on. Well, some of them are, but these are like early concept models. Oh, it's from a video. I don't want the video. Yeah, you just got some pretty compelling assets there. Can I make this full screen?
I just go through some of my favorite heroes that we produced. At first I thought to myself, why don't I do like a top 10? That'd be quite cool.
Can I make it play faster?
I was like, damn, it's got to be a top 20, and eventually it's become a top 30 because
she's pretty cool looking.
There's just too many ones which I really, really love.
CRS.
The full video on YouTube.
Oh, okay, well, there, yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, no one's looking at our eyes. I don't think anyone's gonna risk turning into stone. I think we're safe. Oops. Let me yeah, I think we're good. Yes, she, yeah. If she, how do I phrase this? She could make a living on the streets, I'll put it that way. Again, I got the Fateless drinking chalice. If you'd like that or any other Fateless or Godforge merch, you can get yours at store.fateless.gg and use discount code Adam10 at checkout for 10% off your orders. Turning the streets to stone. Hey, there you go. Ragewood would say great opinions. Interesting. Yeah, you also go with assets. Yeah, there's a lot of not so subtle things you can go with. Someone on the Discord pointed out they thought it was funny how like everyone is like got a grumpy face. Hey, Merry Christmas, Andrew. Thank you. I hope you had a Merry Christmas as well. I hope everybody watching had a Merry Christmas. It's where I live. It's 2:41 a.m. on the 26th, so it's rolled over past midnight, and we're on the day after now. But yeah, Merry Christmas to all. On my main account, yes, Andrew, I have. I have premium on the main account, so I think I've saved up like here. Hold on, I'll pull it up. I'll show you what I got. I got to do it in a incognito tab, or it'll bug. Oops, what happened? If you don't do it in incognito, it bugs. Like the Aether I have on that account would come over to this account, and I don't want to do that, so I have to do incognito. Yeah, some of those imprints are crazy. All right, so this is what we got. We got Sizzin locked in, High Priest of Ptah, and because I have Sizzin locked in, I'm going with the spicy choice, and I'm going for as long as I have Sizzin locked in. I'm keeping this. Damaging debuffs inflict up to 70% increased damage. We know that he does AoE Blaze, and I suspect, based on context clues, that he does Acid on his basic attack. So this is just like the perfect weapon for him. And right now for imprints, I've got... Oh, can I not read it while it's locked in? Oh, no. I'll look at that in a second. But I got 260 summons saved up. I think this is Pazuzu or something. It's the one where when you kill somebody, their corpse explodes and deals damage to everyone around them. Like, to me, that just sounds like so much fun. Advice on which weapon? I think it depends on what kind of player you are. Forge Fire generally is going to be the most usable for the most players. If you lock in a really good support hero who does tons of buffs, Excalibur will be great. But if you're like a sweaty tryhard and you want to try to min-max and you like playing on manual and building your teams around a single thing, like if you really like getting into the nitty-gritty, there's another one that I've forgotten what it's called. Hold on, I gotta log into my other free-to-play account and look at it. I've got it locked in. Or no, it's on this one. Namsaru. Buffs placed on this hero are instantly removed, granting X divinity and turn meter and grant a permanent damage increase of 5%. If you are a sweaty min-maxer and you like playing hands-on and building teams around like a single thing and really theory crafting, and you're like a really involved good player, like this is probably right now like the best. But if you're more casual, you like to just kind of play on full auto, just you want to hit play and let it go hands off and not really stress about it, I would say Fire Forge or Forge Fire, whichever one. I get them mixed up. I have dyslexia, so it gets reversed in my head. Forge Fire and Excalibur are good. But again, if you have a hero locked in who does tons of buffs, Excalibur is great. If you don't, if you have just a random run-of-the-mill, not person who does lots of buffs, Forge Fire is really strong. It could be Elamaster, dude. I am so bad with names. I suck at memorizing names, and some of these names are so out of left field. Like, it's not like Frank and Tim and Steve. Like, these names, I probably got the names mixed up. Yeah, Lamash too. I think that. Yeah, I think you're correct. I don't know what Etten does off the top of my head. Yeah, if you're going for Quetz, then absolutely Excalibur would be a great one, because I think he does buffs on his core and on his ultimate, so he'd do like 3 or 4 buffs at least. Yeah, that's a great one. Oh, sorry, Mr. Comment earlier. Do you think Fateless would select players to help test on the server for a short period before each major release? They might have a test server for content creators, but that's the kind of thing that us content creators have been asking a lot behind the scenes, and we haven't really gotten a solid, what's the word I'm looking for? A firm yes or no. I think they said it's something they would like to do eventually, but we don't know how soon something like that could come into play, if at all. They haven't, it's not something that they've put serious effort into figuring out the logistics for. I would be shocked if we had a test server before early access. I think early access is going to be the first time that everyone gets to get their hands on the game. I don't think we're going to see a test server before early access. Yeah, it's like Free Bomb Slow Nebula. Yeah, it looks really cool. This explode. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I had Pazuzu locked in on my main because I thought it was just really cool. But then I saw Lamash 2 and I was like, okay, that one is so much cooler. I think Pazuzu has potential to be really strong in PvP. His imprint. I don't think we've seen his full kit yet, or I haven't seen his full kit yet. I'm waiting to look at all the hero kits until we can see them all in their entirety. But I don't want to form any cognitive biases before we see the full kits finalized. Exactly, they can neither confirm or deny. They have said it's something that they will likely have at some point. I just don't think it's a priority for them to get it set up. Like, the amount of resources and manpower that it would take to get that set up isn't worth it when they're trying so hard to meet their deadline for early access. Yeah, bleeds proved to be very powerful in the alpha phase. So if you get like Dracula, lock in a weapon that has powerful synergy with bleeds. Why not? Like, that's what I did. I locked in the, like, right now I have Sizzin, so I have Ra's weapon locked in because it increases the damage from damaging debuffs by some percentage. Hey, not that one. Even though it's not like one of the meta picks, it makes sense for the hero I have locked in. So, and then we have the Corpse Exploder. Hold on, let's look at Zavarok's sheet again. Let's say hypothetically, how do I want to do this? Let's, no, undo ski. No. Here we go. This is what I'm trying to do. Let's say, okay, cool. Let's say, devil's advocate, I decide to lock in Cizin. I'm going to want an imprint that will enable him to the highest capacity possible, because I've already chosen a weapon that is going to enable him to the highest capacity possible. Yeah, the earlier we get the kits, the better, but I understand why they would want to wait, make sure everything's locked in and as close to its final form as it will be before they show us. Because again, everything is always subject to change. Yeah, so let's look. I'm looking at this through the lens of I'm going to take Cizin as a starting at 15, scaling up to 33% chance to reflect. Not really. I don't care about that. In one stack, we don't know what Temporal Aegis or Arcane Aegis is. If I had to guess, what is Aegis? I think it's like a shield, right? I think it's like a shield.
Aegis.
Protection, backing, or support of a particular person or organization. Yeah, I think this is going to be some sort of, like, I think Temporal Aegis. There's two things that are going through my head. I think Temporal Aegis could be to block physical damage. That doesn't really make sense because we haven't seen like physical versus magical damage yet, so probably not that. Temporal Aegis might block damage from Chaos heroes, and Arcane Aegis might block damage from Order heroes. Could be something like that, but I think it's going to be some sort of damage reduction or shield mechanic. But the fact that Temporal and Arcane, like, we don't know what these mean, but and the fact, just using context clues, the fact that they're calling it Aegis means it's probably going to protect your hero to some degree. Or maybe one stops physical damage and one stops debuffs coming in. I don't know. Something like that would be my guess. But we don't know exactly what it does, so I'm going to ignore that one. Damaging debuffs and holy moly, that would be sick. A10. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Bro, imagine I have Ra's weapon, which gives me a 70% boost to my damage. Oh no, this is A10. This is the weapon. I'm such a turd. Oh my gosh, I'm such a turd. We gotta look at imprints. Noob. Okay. I was like, man, imagine if I had this effect on an imprint. No, that was the hero. Okay, sure, the weapon. Ooh, that's a good guess, Scott. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Because whatever it is, it's probably something where there's two similar effects. So yeah, Arcane Aegis could protect either turn meter or divinity, and then Temporal could block. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good guess. I like that a lot. Okay, sorry. I blame it on my ADD, baby. So we're looking at this through the lens of I'm sticking with Cizin. Oh. Okay. So the reason that Cizin was appealing to me is because we know he is likely, if he remains unchanged, he is likely to do AoE Blaze 2. And from context clues, reading his ultimate, and between the context clues of how his ultimate reads and the art we've seen used for his basic attack, it's likely that he will also have acid. Because of, and he also blows up acids and blaze with his ult. So So because of that, I think it is likely, depending on his base stats, I think it is likely that he could possibly be a dungeon solo hero at endgame. Now, dungeon soloing isn't necessarily as important in Godforge as it is in Raid because of the way XP overflow works. In fact, you don't need to, and the only reason you would want to do solo is if doing it solo was just faster somehow. Like if it just increased your in-game time efficiency or something like that. But even if he's not a solo, anything that's going to allow him to do more damage and also stay alive is good because he's a slayer. So he's likely squishy. So ideally, I'm either looking for things that increase the damage of his debuffs or help keep him alive. That's what I'm interested in. So, he does do an AoE blaze, so this could be very good. This could be good too. I think this is actually his. Yeah, this is Sizzin, so we can't put Sizzins on Sizzin. And it's all good, Joey B. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. This is Pengu's, which I really like. That's not going to affect him. This hero inflicts 10% with their basic abilities. This is okay. This is pretty niche because I don't know that I'll have a joint attacker at the start of this hero's turn. That looks like a PvP ability to me. Yeah, no, this is Inception. Reduce damage this hero receives from AoE attacks by 15%. This could be a good one. Fujin, I think I have that on my notepad already. As like ones of, yeah, I've already got Fujin on here. Or did I spell it wrong? Fujin, I did spell it wrong. Okay. Let's do Sizzin imprints I want. This will be a new list. So these are just like general ones that I would be stoked to get regardless of who I lock in. But let's say devil's advocate, I'm locking in Sizzin. Who do I take? Wide Drakglosh could be good. Fujin. The J. I'm so bad at spelling. J-I-N. Let's see. This hero uses an ability, has a 25% chance to spread one random buff. He doesn't do buffs in his kit. That's a little niche. Every 20% hero this increase their speed and initiative. That's interesting. So if he gets hit, goes down to like 30% HP. 20% HP. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. So he gains. He would have 20% more speed and initiative, which would, something like this. It's like this sounds like it could be very good, but if he's at like 20% HP. Or sorry, if he's at like down to 20% HP, I don't know if getting more speed and initiative is going to help him, because yeah, he'll get more damage in, but then he dies the next time enemies attack. When Blaze on allies or enemies activates or expire is removed, increase the damage of the next ultimate by 5%. Oh, does this stack? So let's say he does his core, puts Blaze out on all 5 enemies, uses his ult, activates all 5 blazes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Does his next ult do 25% more damage? That could be interesting. So that's raw. I'll write raw down because it's like tentative. Hold on, let me raw, and I'll put parentheses maybe. That's interesting. Rah, rah, ooh, rah, 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 rah. Oops, ooh, 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 ooh. We lost our spot. Here we go. When this is no, that's not going to be effective. When this hero is attacked, 25% chance to place free. That's not really what I'm going for. When an enemy receives a buff, 50% chance to reduce. That's kind of cool. I think that's the Morrigan, right? Yeah, okay. Increases the healing from mend by 25%. It's kind of niche. When an ally or enemy received increase attack. Wait. Let me make my head spin for a second. When an ally or an enemy is revived, increase this hero's attack by 5%. That's Hell's passive. It's kind of niche. It's not something I would want to lock in without knowing what the game's going to look like. When Immortal prevents this hero's death, that's not going to affect Citizen, I don't think. Unless I get like a Sphinx. When this hero defeats an enemy, the next attack of each ally will inflict 15% increased damage. That's interesting. He is likely to be the one getting kills on my team. But it's... I don't think I'd like that one. I mean, I wouldn't... If I got it for free in the game, I would find a use case for it, but it's not the one that I want to lock in. When an ally under shield is attacked, has a 35% chance to... Okay, no, that's not what we're going for. 1% turn meter when inflicting damage to an enemy. I wonder if that counts like debuff damage. This effect doubles on allies. Oh, turn meter. Gain 1% turn meter when dealing damage. Oh, allies gain. Oh, allies. Sorry. Takes me longer to process stuff like this, so bear with me. When this hero inflicts a critical hit, steal turn meter. That's interesting. Again, like if I acquired that in game, I would find a use case for it, but I don't think that's like locking it in. Like, that doesn't get me excited, but it's neat. Allies under shield deal 10% increased damage and receive 10% less their decreased damage. This could be cool because, like, I know Citizen isn't a shield hero, but if I just get like a rare who puts up shields, like Tristane. Sorry, I have this blocking my chat. I'm gonna move it over to the side. Oh, you got it. Okay, sorry. What was it saying? Oh, right. So I can get a rare champion in the game, like Tristane, for example, who places shield on all allies on a relatively short cooldown. And by doing so, they're going to do 10% more damage and have 10% decreased damage. Like, this one's actually pretty good. Even though it's not like a damage dealer's imprint. Allies under shield. I wonder if I put this on Citizen, if Citizen would gain the effect, because it says allies. I assume that it does. That's something I'll have to ask around about and see what other people think. I assume that it works this way. Right now, I'm going to write this one down because I think it's interesting. It boosts his damage and makes him tankier. So I'll put that on my list. Maybe. Hey, you got your first legendary. Nice. Yan Wang. After defeating an enemy, this hero's next attack will inflict 25% increased damage. That's also interesting. 25% damage is a lot. So you use the core ability, maybe you wipe the enemy team, you go into the next wave, and then you crack your ult with a 25% damage boost. That could be pretty sick. Huh. That has potential. It falls off a little bit in PvP, though. I don't know. It's definitely not bad. Ooh, that's on Artemis? Holy moly. So this the imprint is cut in half, which means Artemis's passive will read, after defeating an enemy, this hero's next attack will inflict 50% increased damage. Artemis is going to be a crazy slayer, bro. That sounds nuts. And while it's likely a typo, based on the current information we have, it's possible it's not. I would be shocked if it wasn't a typo. but her core ability is a 3-hitter where each hit deals 350 times attack. That would make her the Trunda of Godforge, or whoever the best nuker is in Raid these days. I don't know. I don't follow the game anymore. But yeah, she would be the infamous Giga Slayer that everybody wants. So I'm assuming, like, yes, someone has to be the best damage dealer in the game, but it doesn't have to be by that significant a margin. That would make her, she would put Zeus to shame if those were her real multipliers. I'm assuming that was a typo and it hasn't been fixed. Increase the strong hit chance by 10% when inflicting damage. No, that doesn't affect me. When this hero is damaged by Blaze or Aetherburn, reduce effectiveness by 25%. And the damage of the next ability by 5. That's not what I'm looking for. This prevents this hero's death and heals them to 50% of their max HP. That's not bad. Like Hercules, yeah. We could put Herc down. I would probably lock in a Herc passive if I saw one in the shop. Or not the shop, in my little market or whatever this is. If Herc popped up, I would lock it in. That's good enough that I'd be happy with it. When an enemy dies, increase this hero's initiative by 5%, stacking up to 5 times. So up to 25% initiative, which means more ults, which means more activation of the blazes. That's interesting. That's not bad. It's not really the thing that I'm looking for. Again, if Yang Wing, hey, there's your Yang Wing, buddy. If I acquired it in the game, I would find a way to get a use out of it, but that's not, I don't think that's what I want to lock in. When this hero defeats an enemy, they explode. Like, this one is just so cool. Yeah, just exploding the corpses. It's just too cool to not. It's one of those things where I want to see it in action. It just sounds so exciting. Hey, what's up, Ragewood? I'm theory crafting, playing devil's advocate, assuming that I keep Sizzin locked in. Which weapon am I taking? Which imprint am I taking? Right now I have Ra's weapon locked in, A10 or whatever it's called. I know that's a spicy pick, but it's what I want, so I'm doing for now. Until I pull a better hero, I'm gonna operate under the assumption that I'm working with Sizzin. So now we're just looking at imprints. Each hit from this hero has a 25% chance to inflict extra damage to a random enemy. That's interesting. Hey, there you go. Right on, man. Yeah, I think I decided I'm not going to do a tier list, but rather I'm going to do a wish list, which is kind of the same thing, but instead of grading all the heroes, I'm just going to talk about the ones that I would be really excited to get when the game comes out, rather than doing like a full tier list. That way people still get an idea of what I'm looking for without having to go through the trouble of rating every single hero, and it just seems like a much more elegant way to approach it. And I'm not fond of tier lists, generally speaking. I think if they're done right, they could be good, but it takes so much effort to do one right that I'm not gonna do that. Diseased Talons and Morrigan is your favorite combo for him. Okay. Diseased Talons, is that, oh, I know, it's the one that looks like the claws, like the Wolverine claws. I don't know what it does. Do I have that? No, it was on the other account. Okay. Each hit from this hero has a 25% chance to inflict extra damage. That is cool, but I think this would be better for something like Artemis, where she's doing big damage. Yeah, that's exactly what I did, Burke. Sorry, I have dyslexia. Yeah, I mean that's why I'm doing this, man. I already maxed out my main account and my first free-to-play account, so we're going again, as they say in hardcore. When an enemy hero has their turn meter decreased, okay, that's a little niche for Season. I think I wait 40 seconds to lock in the 75% bonus. Yeah, so I'm losing 20%. Technically, I'm losing 20% value by waiting. It's not even, it's less than 20% value because it was like 45 seconds. I'm losing like 15% value by waiting, but I gained 75%. So mathematically, it is better to wait on that one. We're min-maxing, boys. That's how we roll. At the start of an enemy's turn, if they are under bleed, that's not going to affect Season, I don't believe. When an enemy gains a buff, increase this. An enemy game. Oh, this one was cool too. This could be a really strong one for PvP, but I'm not like a big PvP hound. I'm mostly a PvE enjoyer. I will partake in the normalized PvP, but these choices I'm making now will not affect the normalized PvP. So as cool as this one looks and as good as I think it will be in arena, I'm gonna pass on this one. When sleep expires, that's a little niche for Season. Increase the damage inflicted by this hero by 5% and reduces damage received by 5% each time this hero defeats an enemy, stacking up to. So we could have potentially 25% increased damage and up to 25% reduced damage. That seems pretty good, especially as a Slayer, dude. Let's put that one on the list. Oda. No. Banaga. Cowabunga. All right. Place. Yeah, Sun Wukong. I don't even have to. Yeah, that's going on the list. Oops. No, it's fine. I spelled it wrong, but it's fine. I know what it means. If this hero is under a buff, has a 40% chance to reflect any debuff. That's a little niche. When this hero inflicts a critical hit, heal. So based on, I was looking at this, and while it looks cool at front when you like break it down, like hypothetically speaking, right out of the gate, this is going to be basically nothing. Like starting the game, going through campaign for the first time, you might have 100 initiative. So I don't know why I even bothered doing that math. I don't know why, but yeah, so early game, you're gonna get a heal for 1,200 maybe on a critical hit, which at level 1 that's a lot, but at level 60, no. But okay, so at level 60, let's say you have, optimistically speaking, you have 200 initiative times 12, like 2,400. You're better off putting him in an Avenger set at this point. Yeah, Rage, I absolutely agree. That is the number one. Like when people say, what imprint should I go for? My knee-jerk instant reaction is Sun Wukong, because it's going to be so universally good regardless of which hero you take. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, yeah. You put it on your Reviver, you put it on your Slayer, who's super squishy, like, so good. So good, so good. Like, I feel bad for Hercules because his is just like a worse version of Sun Wukong's. When a hero is defeated, increase this hero's turn meter by 10%. I don't really like these ones, because this is something that Ragewood actually pointed out in the early, when we saw the starting heroes for the first time. Like, a lot of the starter heroes gained some sort of buff when they killed enemies with their core. But the problem is, if they kill one enemy with their core, they're probably killing the entire wave with their core, which means the buff gets applied and then it falls off and doesn't carry into the next wave. So yeah, this type of thing I'm not particularly fond of. And that's the last of the legendary imprints. So let's keep looking at epics. Maybe there's a random epic one that looks really good for Citizen. I haven't looked at any of the epic ones yet. That is also a good point. Yeah, so this, I don't know who that Ragewood guy is, but he's a smart cookie. Is there an internal imprint in particular that you've got your eye on? Because for me personally, these are like the general use case imprints that I'm like, oh, these look like they're going to be really good. That I would just kind of, they're just generically good in a lot of scenarios. There are probably some niche ones that could be better depending on who you start with, but general use case, these are the ones I would recommend. Just like blanket, like could be really cool. I know that Pengu is eternal. I don't know about any of these other ones though. I haven't been paying enough attention. And these are the ones that I would take if I was 100% locking in Citizen. The list is remarkably similar. Like, I think I added Raw to this list. Tian Long. Oh, Tian Long. This is one I think some people might be sleeping on. It's Ragewood, since you're here, I want to get your take on this. Who are we on so I don't lose my place? We are on Anubis. Okay, we'll come back to Anubis. Tian Long. Okay. Allies under shield deal 10% increased damage and receive 10% decreased damage. Now, the instinct is to go, well, the hero I'm locking in doesn't place shields. However, Tristane, among a few other rare heroes, are going to be putting up shields. It will be very easy to acquire a hero who has a shield. And as such, I think it will be quite easy to get some degree of value from this in the early game at least. But having a 10% damage mitigation and 10% damage boost, just for having like if you get a Solday and Tristane in the early game, you could use them in tandem. I don't know, I think this is going to be a sleeper. Oda is eternal. I didn't have him on my list. Brynhild, that's another one, yeah. And she's an epic, so she shouldn't, you know. And I was going on a rant earlier on the stream that I believe that we could possibly see Brynhild as a daily login reward. Anubis, that's where we left off. Where'd he go? Anubis. Now that's pure speculation. I cannot, you know. I suspect we are likely to see Brynhild as an early login hero. That is pure speculation, though. You have Oda. Oh, okay. The Cowabunga guy. Yeah, sorry. So that one is eternal also? Okay, what does that one do? I already forgot. Oda, oh, increases damage. Yeah, so it's basically like the same as the Tian Long one, but better for Slayers in a vacuum, I guess. Yeah, okay, I agree. I want to look at these epic ones though, because I have not looked at the epic imprints at all. Again, I'm looking at this through the lens that I'm locking in Citizen, and I'm taking him 100%. So we're just kind of theory crafting here. What would I take if I stuck with Citizen? Yeah. Oops. Hey, what's up, Sneaky? We're just doing a bit of theory crafting. In the hypothetical situation that I lock in Citizen, I'm looking at the imprints that I would be the most tempted to take. Bleed is not in his kit, I don't believe. If it is, we haven't seen it. What about 50% HP, increase the damage inflicted by 10%? Otherwise, decrease damage inflicted. See, this is another good one. It's kind of the same thing. Like at the start of the game, you open up and you deal. This is set, right? Oh, Osiris. I get them confused. Okay. Yeah, this is not bad. It's just like a 10% damage boost, and then you start getting attacked, and then when you're low, you have damage mitigation. But I think some of the legendary ones that do a similar thing are just better. So this hero gains effects depending on we don't have bleed. Ooh, that's interesting. This would require some setup for Sizzin, and I don't have the setup. Sizzin is AoE attack that places Blaze 2 on all enemies. It reads 75%. I'm assuming it books up to 100. And then when he ults, he activates all Blaze debuffs and acid debuffs. And then he gains initiative when he deals damage to enemies under acid or Blaze. So because of the context clues in his ultimate, along with the context clue of the art asset we see on his basic attack, which is like a green skull with like green energy or fluid or something, and then there's like a pool of green under the big green skull. Between that and the fact that he gains initiative based on dealing damage to enemies under acid, and he blows up acid, I highly suspect he puts acid on his basic attack. Again, speculation. But yeah, that's why I locked in Ra's weapon, because it like when it's maxed out, it increases the damage of damaging debuffs by 70%, and he has 2 different ones in his kit. Hypothetically. I don't know. So if I see anything that synergizes with Blaze or acid or placing damaging debuffs or anything like that, I'm gonna keep an eye out. What do you think of Aphrodite's motivation imprint? It's fine. It's not one that I would be like, I don't know. Yeah, hold on. Where are we at right now? We're at Pandora. Okay, we'll come back to Pandora. We're looking for Aphrodite. I have to read it again. I don't have it memorized. I have a really bad short-term memory. Allies gain 1% turn meter when inflicting damage to an enemy. This effect doubles on allies who are under speed up 2 and initiative up 2. I think if you have a hero on your team who can place speed up 2 and initiative up 2, it's really good. I mean, it's like free passive turn meter gains. This is when inflicting damage. It doesn't say when they attack. So if you have like a 3-hitter ability, you get, I mean, it's like free value, and it's not bad. Yeah, it seems fine. But for me, it's not one that I would be like, oh my god, I have to have that. I don't know. It could also be one of those things that's way better than it looks on paper. Yeah, Ragewood says niche. I kind of agree. Yeah. I do not have any guides for imprints personally. I know some of the other content creators do. If you go to the Godforge Discord, there's a community videos. Here, I'll show you. So going from the top down, you have like the welcome zone, you have the information, and then your community content. This right here. You go to community videos. Ragewood's got a video. Unbound Sage has a video. Ragewood's weapon tier list. Like you can, there's all kinds of guides and stuff in this channel, so you can kind of just peruse and pick one that looks cool. Mr. Sneaky, yeah, he's got one. Yeah, so just browse this channel. There's a lot of great content creators, a lot of smart dudes in there. Dang it. I told this damn playlist to play on repeat. Look at that right there. Loop, oh, loop video. Hold on. Loop playlist. Turn off loop. I don't know. We'll see. It was playing like World of Warcraft music or something. Whatever. Screw it. I don't care. What was it? Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I got my windows all cattywampus. I got like 14 windows open. Oh, okay. I got so sidetracked. So we were looking at Pandora. Okay, that's where we left off. I get distracted so easy. Yeah, you guys are cool. It's not your fault. Not interested in that one. Hold on. Oh no. Okay, 100% worth waiting 30 seconds. Yeah, I miss out on like 15% or like 12% value to gain 75. We min-maxing, guys. I did not watch that live stream. I watched a few seconds of that live stream that Ragewood timestamped for me. I think it was Ragewood. Yeah, it was definitely Ragewood. Who timestamped it for me. I watched that part of it. When ally activates, that's Gilgamesh. Oops. Receives the disable. That's a little niche. When an enemy places a debuff or disable on this hero, reflects 15% of the damage inflicted to this hero. He's too squishy for that to be relevant, I imagine. 15% chance to instantly remove a debuff. That could be kind of cool for arena, but again, I'm a PvE Andy, as they say. That's cool. Not for what I'm looking for though. This is interesting. So it's low-key, like Sizzin is already kind of low-key like a boss slayer. He's got at least one enemy max HP debuff, and I suspect he could have two based on the context clues. I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that. So making him deal 15% increased damage. But this is just like with physical damage. Yeah, I don't know. Would this work on Guan Yu's basic attack? Like, I know that his enemy max HP didn't scale with crit damage, but would this make it deal 15% more damage? I wonder. I feel like it would, because it's a damage multiplier, not a crit damage multiplier. So would I want to take? No. No. I'm not gonna take that one. It's tempting. I think it does, Mr. Sneaky. The more I think about it, the more I'm inclined to believe that it would work with Guan Yu's basic attack. Oh yeah. Well, I'm kind of right now. I'm looking at it for if I had a bleed hero on my team, which I don't know that I will. So I'm kind of just going off the hypothetical vacuum in which I've got like Guan Yu, Sizzin, Isolde, and you know, like just a couple other rares running around. I'm inclined to believe, because it's like a mastery, right? Like it's just raw damage scaling, but it's not scaling off your crit. It's not a crit damage boost. It's just a raw damage multiplier. I'm inclined to believe that it would work. I could be wrong, but my assumption is that it would. Inflicts 15%. Oh yeah. We just looked at that one. Not interested in that. Increase this hero's initiative by 10. What? At the start of battle, increase this hero's initiative by 10% of this hero's speed. Oh, that's interesting. That is a cool one, but I don't think that's what I want. I would want that on like my Isolde or something. Or like a Quetzalcoatl or something like that. That would be sick. Whose is that? Aya. We haven't seen Aya. They were not in the alpha as far as I recall. Heal 15% of the damage. Inflicted is probably a typo. Inflicted. Included. Oh, man. Heal for 15% of the damage inflicted when hitting an enemy under bleed. Oh, I thought this said blaze for a second. If that was blaze, I would actually seriously consider locking that in. What about Pengu builds? Oh, I don't know, man. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Ooh, that would be a good one for Pengu. But would you want to... Oh, wait, no, it doesn't replace his passive. It's in addition to his passive. Yeah, ooh, that's a good call, Sneaky. Too bad Pengu's not in the pool for the minigame. Divana. So if you pull Pengu, keep an eye out for this Divana passive. Or imprint. No, this one. Wait. No, this one. Sorry. Aya. Sorry, that was probably a little loud. Aya. Yeah, that's a cool one for Pengu. That's a good call. When enemy increases turn meter, so there's a 50% chance to counterattack with their basic ability. That is really cool. That's a PvP imprint right there. That looks really cool. Imagine this on a Scotty, like turn meter boost, freezes them in place. Oh man, that'd be so annoying. Yeah, that would be sick on Scotty in PvP or any hero who has basic attack disable. At the start of this hero's turn, increase divinity of all allies by 10. Wow, that is really neat. Cleopatra coming at you. All right. Yeah, there's some cool ones in here. There's some really good epic imprints. Like, some of the support ones seem really good. Transfer 10% of the damage inflicted on... No, we're not doing that on Citizen. Deal 20% additional critical damage to enemies under Blaze. That's interesting. What I want to know is, what's the order of operations? Does he place the Blaze debuff before the damage is dealt? If he does, this is actually insane. According to the way it reads, it makes it sound like he deals damage and then places the Blaze. But just because it's written that way doesn't mean it behaves that way. Like, it's not like Magic the Gathering where they have everything worded like perfectly and, like the syntax, I guess, is the word I see people use to describe it. I'm gonna write this one down. This is definitely one to keep an eye out for Citizen. If I'm going hard on Citizen, this is just a fun little thought experiment. Poland Easta. Gary. When an ally's HP drops below 50%, this here's protected. No, we're not doing that. 10% chance to join an ally in attacking. When joining an attack, will heal 5% of all allies and increase this hero's divinity. What? Hold the phone? Oh, we didn't see this guy in the alpha. Has a 10% chance to join an ally in attacking. This looks like a really cool one for any Slayer. Because there's a chance that you join in on the ally attack and then you heal by 5% of your HP. All allies increase this hero's divinity. Oh, heals all allies by 5% of your HP. Okay, that's less. I mean, I would be mostly concerned about healing myself as a Slayer, but then increase this hero's divinity by 5%. It's only a 10% chance. What was the character what was his name? The jester looking dude. Oh my gosh. Who was bugged and it was going like 85% chance to join in the ally attack. And they ended up nerfing it for wave 3. Oh, what was that character's name? Oh, I know Mr. Sneaky knows it. Dagonet. Thank you, Ragewood. Yeah, Dagonet. This is like Dagonet, but like on steroids. Yeah, see, the way it's worded seems to imply this is definitely the case, Sneaky. So you very well could be right. But just because it's worded that way doesn't mean that's how it happens in battle. So, I for the sake of how he gains ult charge, I really hope it places it and then he does the damage. Because that would just... Otherwise, it's going to take him forever to get his ult, unless his basic attack is an AoE. And it just annoys me when legendaries take forever to get their ultimate. Like, there's... At one point, I had Hell. She was my first legendary for wave 3. But I just stopped using her because my Ramses would get his ult faster. And as such, he was more viable on combat because A, I was able to book his cooldowns, and B, I actually got to use his ultimate before I killed all 3 waves. So because I was getting value from his ultimate, he was just better for me than Hell was. Like, it seemed like the team is so scared of like letting legendaries use their ultimate in some cases, especially the damage dealers. So I really hope that the blaze is placed and then the damage is dealt, so he can gain ult charge off using his core ability. Because if he doesn't have an AoE basic attack, he's never getting that ult, and that's just gonna frustrate me. So I have to believe, I have to have faith that the blaze is placed before the damage. Welcome back, Joey B. I don't know. If it isn't such that he places the blaze first, I might not even bother locking him in. Like that's how big of a difference it will make for me. I guess it depends on what his starting divinity is and how much divinity it takes to charge his ult. But if it's one of those situations where you're just never getting the ult, like that's 1/3 of the hero's kit, and if I only get to use it 10% of the time, it's really frustrating. We're not doing that. That's interesting, but I don't think that's what I want to go for. Are we okay? We're not in the verse yet. An enemy gains a debuff. Also decrease. That could be interesting. Because he is placing blazes. I don't know. I think I would need to be more than 2.5% for me to be interested in it. Oh, thank you, Rage. Ooh. Let me look how his ability. Yeah, if you guys want to take a look, someone posted a different spreadsheet that had all the hero skills that were shown in the video, and the way that person had written it in their spreadsheet, it was written such that the damage goes first before the blaze. But if he has an AoE basic attack, it's not as bad. Because you do the core, then you use the basic and you gain ult charge. Like, thanks a 50% chance to increase divinity. At 2.5, no, he doesn't. He won't have vanish. At least not out of the box. I might get an ally who can place vanish on him, but he doesn't come with it. What did you miss in 5 words? Theory crafting my Sizzin build potentially. Vlegules, welcome. 275 out of 1600. Oh, that's what it's. That's how much divinity it takes to use his ult. 1600. Wait, is that a lot? Okay, I think it's worth waiting the 2 minutes. No, wait, this is a 1 minute. No, it's not. I would miss 2 missions waiting for a break even if I wait. So he starts at 270. It gets 1600. I don't remember what it was like in the alpha. The 1600 sounds like a lot. Oh, that's fair, Ragewood. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've already seen a change to his imprint. Yeah, I don't know. I wish we could just see, so rather than just speculating. If the blaze was placed first before the damage was dealt, it would be fine. It would actually be good. But if it's not the case, then I'll be a little disappointed. I don't want to be in a situation where I have this really cool legendary where I just never get to use their ults. I don't know. It's just frustrating. That's how I felt in the alpha about Hell. I was just like, she's not worth using right now because my starter hero is just better. Yeah, everything is subject to change, of course. On the video, he attacks first. Yeah, that's how it was worded on the spreadsheet I was looking at. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll wait until the hero kit is fully revealed. Yeah, that's what I'm inclined to believe, but I'm just putting out my wishful thinking vibes. 30% chance to convert 50% of incoming damage from attacks into bear. Oh, wait, is that Leonidas? Yes, it is. 30% chance to convert 50% of incoming damage from attacks into barrier. Oh, the barrier cannot exceed more than 10% of the hero's health. Huh. That's not bad. Wasn't there one that converted outgoing damage into a barrier? I would be way more interested in that. But that was not terrible. When an ally buff expires or is removed, heal the... okay. 10% damage to enemies under... while under... nope. Enemies under resistance damage... nope. When damage is inflicted on this hero... increase defense and resistance by 3%. I think that'd be better for like a brawler. I think Schism might be too squishy for that to like really matter. Oh, this is kind of cool. Is this oh, now we're into the rares. Okay, I'm not gonna look at all the rares. Rares are common enough that I can get an imprint if I need one. You gonna break it? Okay. All right. Well, this is what we got. This is our list. This is our wish list for if I decide to lock in Schism. These are the ones that I like. I thought were interesting. But for general purposes, if you're watching this and you're looking for a good recommendation, these are like the general purpose imprints that I think were just good enough to fit into any hero build and be good. I think these are really good general use case imprints to keep an eye out for. It's particularly Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is like S tier in my estimation, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. So if you're not sure what to lock in, these are my recommendations with a heavy emphasis. How'd that happen? On Sun Wukong. What? Is that thing? Oh, Apparently you can click and drag to copy and cut and paste. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I feel about the imprints. No tier list, just a wish list. Isn't there a champ that gets attack percentage and removes buff? Oh, yeah. Sneaky says there's a weapon for it. This one right here. Buffs placed on this hero are instantly removed, granting X divinity and turn meter, and grant a permanent damage increase of 5%. Yeah, unfortunately I can't, I don't have enough Aether to lock that one in, but I'm sure it'll come back around. Yeah, I think, I'm starting to get a little hungry. So yeah, I think now is a good time, and I'm also running out of things to talk about. My voice is getting a little sore, so for my own personal well-being, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, I will see you all in another video soon. But until next time, everyone, take care. Don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel for more Godforge content. Thanks for watching, guys. Also, go check out Ragewood and Mr. Sneaky Gaming, other wonderful Godforge content creators.